All right, good afternoon, folks. We are back live, and we are back with the Conliff Racing eSports team as they continue to run the 12 hours of Bathurst. And at the moment, the team is currently running in 11th, but as pit stops cycle around, they're going to actually pick up several more positions here. The team has been on a great run this morning. The team has been running with no issues so far. They did have that little bit of contact early on this morning with the BMW, but got fixed on that first stop. They have kept chugging away at it right now. Right now, Adam Barker is behind the wheel of the car. Andrew Lau getting ready to hop in the car for the final stint here in just a little bit. Let's see if we can get a quick word with Andrew Lau before he hops in the car for the final run to the finish here. Hey Andrew, it's Doug. You got me?
Hey Doug.
Hey, so far so good, and looking like more or less a top 10 position right now.
Yeah, one of the cars in front of us just had a problem, so position gain there. We'll have to see how the rest of the pit cycles plays out, but yeah, maybe top 10 is in the book.
It's definitely looking like you guys have kept the car clean all day, and despite changes in the track temperature, things of that nature, the car's still fast. Your strategy's still working out perfectly as planned.
Yeah, we are going to have to make a slight adjustment to the strategy to ensure that we can take 4 tires on the last stint. It's still very hot around here, so fresh tires are going to be big.
Yeah, I'm guessing we'll take a look at what happened to the driver ahead of you here in the next few minutes, but I'm guessing tire wear. This morning we saw toward the end of the runs a lot of cars starting to slide, but now that the track is just tire melting hot, that's an even bigger issue.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. It's not even enough just to save the tires. It's so slippery around here, especially even in the flat sections here where Adam is going through now. It's just slippery everywhere.
Wow, when the straightaways are slippery, you know things are getting sketchy out there.
Yeah, it is quite sketchy.
So I know you're getting ready to hop back in the car. Just less than 2 hours left to go, and you guys just pushing it. Any thoughts going into this final part of it? You guys have kept the car clean all day. Any changes other than obviously the tires? Any other changes to the plan? Or is it just keep the consistency, keep the saving, and make it to the end at this point?
Yeah, definitely keeping it safe for sure. We're going to have to see where we come out of the pits along with everybody else to see if it's worth pushing and fighting or not. But we'll see that when we get there.
Well, man, it's been a great run so far. You guys have had an awesome day, and hopefully that continues this final run. Good luck, buddy.
Thank you.
Andrew Lau getting ready to get in the car for team number 1. Team 2, who started, they qualified back in 45th, have had a heck of a day. Mike Dolling started in the car. He is, I believe, double checking, I believe Mike is actually out of the car for the day, but still working with both teams, hoping to help them get to the end here. Let's see if we can get a quick word with the strategy master. Mike, it's Doug. You got me?
Hey, Doug. Yeah, good. How are you?
I am good, man. Starting 45th and running up near the top 10 right now. That's quite a day.
Oh yeah, we're actually having a good time. We started 44th, and we're 9. Well, we're currently running 11th, but with pit stops, we're effective 9th. So really happy with how it's turning out. Simon and Nick have had really good drives. So Simon's got 12 laps left in his stint, and then Nick comes in and brings us home. So yeah, it's been really good. Really pleased with how it turned out. Turning.
Any more attacking today, or is it status quo, get the car to the finish?
No, I actually think we're in attack mode right now. We're chasing a guy who's 2 seconds ahead of us, which potentially means we are in effective P8. So no, we're still chasing. I think we're going to be doing some pretty heavy chasing in Nick's stint. So no, we're pushing. Our last stint will definitely be a push.
Well, and I did talk to Mike Marshall this morning, and he was definitely singing your praises. The strategy, looking through the spreadsheets and all the testing and everything that goes into this, especially for two teams, you're credited with all the strategy play and planning that has gone into this that has allowed the team 2 to come from 45th all the way up there into the top 10, and team 1 obviously on a tear as well, up in the top 10.
Yeah, I'm quite happy with how it's playing out. It was just so disappointing what happened at Daytona, and that was on me. So I'm really hoping that that the strategy and the planning on this one pays off. So fingers crossed, Doug, and thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, not a problem, and hopefully it does pay off, and man, hopefully you guys pick up some more positions here. I know Nick about ready to hop in the car, but best of luck to you guys, and you're out of the car now. Are you relaxing, or are you still on pins and needles?
Oh, I'm relaxing, but still on the edge of my seat. This is going to be a nail biter right to the end, this one. So it's exciting. So, but it's stressful. Nick's Simon's having a bit of a moment. There we are. But yeah, it's good. So fingers crossed. Let's just hope we can keep it together.
I hope so, man. Good luck and a great run, great comeback today, buddy.
Thank you. Thanks. Cheers, Doug.
Mike Dalling having a bit of a laugh. The team, obviously, both teams in really, really good spirits here this afternoon. After a 12-hour run and what they started on a very cold track, now looking at the track temperature, 107 degrees. It got as high as 140 today. I mean, the track temperature is extremely hot, but with 2 hours left to go, the track, and you just saw it drop another degree, so the track temp is starting to come back down. That will give them a little bit more speed, a little bit more grip, and a little bit more control, especially seeing as how the drivers did say, man, the car is slipping even on the straightaways. It is just greasy out there. So every degree of temperature down is really going to help this team from here. And track temperature just dropped to 105, so could be a little bit of the difference in the location on the track as well, but the drivers definitely appreciating any little bit of grip. Even 1% more grip is going to make a huge difference here tonight. Now with 2 hours left to go and these drivers getting ready for the next pit stop, that next stop will be the final driver change. As we mentioned, Andrew Lau will be taking over the car from Adam Barker. Adam currently in 11th, trying to run down the 10th place car, the 747 there. Does have a car approaching from behind, about 6 seconds back. A few moments ago, there was a problem on track up ahead of him that actually gave him a position. Let's see what happened with, looks like Mark Hutchison. Looks like coming down the hill in that Ferrari. Oh, he gets a bump from another Ferrari, gets backed into the wall and lost the rear wing. That was just a couple of cars. There you see Adam in the background. Hutchison did have to go to pit road. Trying to confirm if he has even come back out yet. As you see, 32 cars still on track from the nearly 50 cars that started the race. And obviously these guys have done an amazing lap traffic, actually battling with Adam here. And actually maybe one of the lead cars. The top two currently Porsches, then a BMW and another Porsche. As one of the top 10 BMWs just coming to pit road. This is the penultimate stop for these drivers at the moment. And that was the 7th place car battling with Adam for the moment. Adam stuck currently in a mix of cars a lap ahead and cars several laps down. Second place is now on pit road. Looks like we are starting to see the start of the penultimate pit stops. We've seen multiple different strategies here today, but the one thing that has paid off is that the Conliff team has been conserving fuel all day long. They have been able to go at least one lap more than the majority of the field. Only a half dozen cars able to go that 30 laps all day. Hey, good afternoon, Mark Dantuma. Most of these teams looking at 27 to 29 laps. As I mentioned, only half dozen cars in the field have been pushing it to that 30 lap mark. And that was making a huge difference early on in this race. And here we are late in the race with the Conliff team sitting in the top 10. Some close calls going on here. A lot of action right around the car. This definitely not where Adam wants to be, stuck in this pack. These are not any cars he's actually battling with. The next car up is Oliver Rodriguez, and he is currently in 10th place, but is 51 seconds ahead. Now, Adam is gaining on him at the moment, despite the fact Oliver is on fresher tires. Benjamin Lang and his team currently in the lead. Liam Kerr, who was back battling with the Conliff team earlier in the race, is now up in second. As the third place BMW, Porsche, and then a bunch of Ferraris. The Porsches did have a power advantage on the straightaway. In fact, when iRacing did the balance of power here, the only change made to the BMW was a 1.5% reduction in power. The Ferrari was the only car that did not have any balance of power adjustments. I will take a look at the messages after the broadcast. Thank you. Looks like the sixth place car is coming to pit road now as well. And we have to think they are on lap 286, 285. Adam is going to have about another 15 laps before he hits pit road. Looking at the stats, some of these drivers having just completed pit stops, and most of them will either come to pit road before Adam does or right after, having stopped a lap or two after what he last did. But again, their strategy has put them at this point one pit stop less than the rest of the field. Oh, and look like the car sitting a couple spots back from Adam may have kissed the wall there just a little bit. Obviously, track temp still coming down, and might be seeing some guys starting to push just a little bit more. The Conliff teams, though, still sticking to their strategy. Team 2 is on the attack now. They are actually also up in the top 10 and running cars down at the moment. An impressive run, top 10s for both teams, as 10th place is now on pit road. I believe this is a return to pit road. Something is not right with that car. Keep an eye on that 10th place BMW, as Adam is going to go by and take 10th place, I believe. Yep, just now. Adam also under attack. A car back behind, that black and yellow Ferrari, driven by Oraman Haraki, has closed in to just 0.4 of a second behind Adam. Adam just now taking 10th place. It gets a little close into the right-hander, but now Adam out front of that group as they go up the mountain. It's amazing that we see this weekend at all these endurance events. You see the field spread out early in the day, but by late in the evening, they are still they all come back together and battle for that finish. Adam has actually opened a gap back thanks to coming up the mountain and having several cars between him and Oraman. Ninth place has pulled away just a little bit from Adam, now over a minute, whereas a moment ago Adam was about 50 seconds behind and gaining rapidly. But the Conliff team has moved officially into the top 10, and as pit stops cycle through, as we mentioned, they are going to pick up a few more spots. Oliver Rodriguez is back out on track. And that BMW you see behind him in 13th, that is the one that was battling with the Conliff team earlier in the race. The Conliff team was faster but struggled to get around him. There was some contact, but once they passed due to pit strategy, they have left them in the dust. Adam did say he was struggling here today due to the fact that he does not have Hello Kitty on the car. Apparently that adds 5 horsepower. Wasn't aware of that fact. I'll be putting Hello Kitty on all my cars. Not really. 8th place has come into pit road now for his penultimate stop. Still just over about 10 laps away from Adam Barker's final stop. When he will get out of the car, Andrew Lau will hop back in for the run to the finish. Adam now fairly securely in the top 10 has pulled a gap on Oraman by about 2.5, now 3.5 seconds. That clean air is definitely benefiting them right now. Looking at some numbers on the race leader in that Porsche right now. Whoa, he goes a bit wide, using every bit of the track limit here. Looks like Benjamin Lang, who has the lead last time, had a very, very quick pit stop on lap 274. So just about 18 laps ago, there is potential that that car may have to make some extra stops here late in the going. 5th place now on pit road, and it looks like they may be making a driver change here at the end. Looks like they may be making their final driver change as well here. If any of y'all out there watching ran the 24-hour last night's stint or are currently running it, let us know how you're doing. And one of the top 5 had a bit of a moment. Let's see what happened. There's the driver in 5th as he comes over the top of the mountain. Whoa, way off into the grass. Manages to recover it, get it gathered up as he goes down the hill. A little squirrely there, though. The drivers did say that Porsche is the fastest car around here, but it's also actively trying to kill you at all times. Benjamin Lang has about a 56-second lead over Liam Kerr. But again, anything can happen here. As the leader comes into lap traffic, any mistake out here could dramatically change the outcome of this race. With over an hour and a half left to go, anything can happen out here. And it looks like Giancarlo... Whoa, wait a minute. One of the drivers further back in the field had an incident a moment ago. Looks like he was coming out of his pit stall. And the track is so greasy when he gets on the power, he just loses it. Manages to get the car turned around and going without impacting anybody else on the track. That could have been catastrophic there at the exit of turn 1. Looking to see where he is. Not a lot of cars around him when he had that incident. Had he been around one of these bigger groups, though, that could have been very problematic for that group. As I mentioned, looks like Giancarlo is out of the car, cooling off. Let's see if we can talk to him. Hey, Giancarlo, it's Doug. You got me?
Hey, Doug.
Hey, a early start this morning and a long day, but you're out of the car. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I mean, I think we started P24, and now we're up to... what are we? We're 11th, I think, 10th or 11th. Yeah, with the pit stops, we'll kind of see how things shake up in the last few stints. But hey, it's been a great day so far.
Only one incident really on track. That was the incident with you and the BMW earlier this morning. But otherwise, the car has stayed clean. You guys have kept it out of trouble, and especially adjusting for the track temps, the strategy has been just about bang on all day.
Yeah, the going from like 70 degrees to 140, as we talked about earlier, was a bit of an adjustment. But we made it work. The strategy's been good. We're gonna potentially come in a bit earlier this stop to then kind of balance out fuel for the final 2 stops to get some fresh tires. But so far, we're looking good.
Well, everything's been on track all morning or all day long. About an hour and a half left to go here. Do you guys attack any more? I mean, Adam's closing in on the next car up. With pit stop cycling through and with y'all's pit strategy, you're probably going to gain some time on a few of these guys. Do you have something left to attack some of the cars ahead?
I think so. I mean, look, that's all. Got to give it to Andrew for that one, because he's going to get in the car next and he's going to bring us home. So if he's comfortable with it, we go full send towards the end. See what we can get there.
The track temperature is starting to come down quite a bit over the last few minutes, especially. We've watched it drop over 3 degrees. Now it's down to 100 degrees and continuing to drop. So it's dropped over 8 degrees in the last 20-30 minutes. Does that change anything for Andrew and his strategy and the fuel and tire strategy?
I don't think it necessarily changes like pit stops or anything like that, but it just lets Andrew, I think, probably feel more comfortable in the car, pushing it all the way up to all the walls going up and down the hill, and just hoping that the tires stay alive for the whole stint.
Well, hopefully it does, man. A great run this morning. It was great watching you run through quite a few cars, and great job, and hopefully Andrew will bring that home with a great finish.
Yeah, thanks, Doug. Appreciate it. Appreciate you doing the commentary for this one as well.
My pleasure, buddy. Great job today.
Thank you.
The leader is now on pit road. As you heard, this is likely his second to last stop. Likely to also see a lot of driver changes at this point to put a fresh driver in the car for the run home. Over the last 2 hours, as you're seeing with the Conliff team, in that last 2 hours, you definitely want somebody fresh behind the wheel. With as we mentioned, with the track temps coming down, everybody trying to get that last bit of push, and with that last bit of push, you tend to have some problems out there on track. Adam closely watching the back bumper. And don't forget, tomorrow morning at 10 Eastern, we will have these guys back in the car, back here at Bathurst for the GT3 NSS League as they run their weekly series with only 2 races left to go in the season. And some close points battles going on between teammates today. Will be battling tomorrow. Giancarlo and Andrew Lau are battling for that championship. And I'd be willing to bet that most of the league will be in the Ferrari tomorrow, after half a dozen of the drivers in the league in a Ferrari today. Looks like Benjamin Lang did not get out of the car on that stop. He continues to lead. Liam Kerr still needs to make a stop as well here. Both of the, really the top 3 on the very dramatically different pit strategies here. So depending on how pit stops play out here, some of these drivers may end up losing some ground. However, as we've mentioned, this Conliff team strategy did save them a pit stop over the course of the day. We are just about 6 laps away from Adam Barker making his final stop, his final run down pit road. Andrew Lau will hop in the car and drive it to the finish. The next car up for Adam is the Ferrari driven by Daniel Newman. Newman currently scored in 9th, just coming off pit road a few laps ago. Also on a dramatically different fuel strategy here. Adam currently just setting consistent lap times. Not seeing a whole lot of push out of it, but he is faster than the next few cars ahead. And as these pit stops and different strategies play out, we could see this Conliff team pick up a few spots. As we mentioned, only 32 cars left out on track of the almost 50 that started the day. Team 2 started back in 44th for their team and are up battling in the top 10. Team 1 starting back in 24th, now up in 10th. Both teams having banner days today. Both teams looking at top 10 finishes. The Conliff Racing teams also have several more of these endurance races planned this year. You don't want to miss out on any of it. Check out their website, conliff-racing.com. Also, check out their partner, Advanced Sim Racing. They have some great equipment for sim racing. I cannot spend too much time looking at it because it is so drool-worthy, but they are planning on running several more races this year. Next up will be Sebring next month, followed by Nürburgring in May. That Nürburgring race will be likely the biggest challenge for the team all year long. You can make sure and catch their schedule on their website. Adam leading a very tight pack of cars through the track right now. And a bit of battling going on back here. Some of the drivers. Adam Barker is in on his final stop. Andrew Lau about to hop into the car and take him to the finish. 12th and 13th were having quite a battle a moment ago. These are two cars that both have had an effect on the race for the Conliff team here this morning. That 07 car out in the front car there was the one that had contact with the team earlier today as they were trying to get by. And that 8 car right behind it had a bit of a problem. They were actually out ahead of the Conliff team earlier, but had to make a second pit stop on their last pit stop run, and that had a big effect on the team. Andrew Lau is in the car and off pit road. He comes out in 13th, and now he runs it to the end. Last time Lau was in the car, it was dramatically hotter out on track. It's going to take him a lap or two to get the feel back for the car. And get the car back up to full speed. Plus, he's got to wait for the tire temps and pressures to get to maximum before he can really start pushing it. However, he is back behind now those two cars that have had an impact. Oh, now the 07 is back on pit road. As Lau coming down the back straightaway, likely that 07 will come off pit road either right in front of or right behind Andrew Lau. And Mark Stassen is getting back in the car. Mark Stassen was the driver they had the issue with earlier this morning. Andrew coming through the final turn onto the front straightaway, hoping to beat Stassen. And Lau is going to pass Stassen on pit road. Andrew Lau at 12th, putting that car, that BMW, back behind. And now Lau can set his sights on Oliver Rodriguez up in 11th. Continuing to monitor closely those track temperatures as they have come down dramatically just in the last 30 minutes. As Lau brings the car back up to maximum attack, he is definitely going to have a little bit of an advantage where Adam Barker had a very, very slick track at the end of his run. Let's see if we can talk to Adam. Hey, Adam, it's Doug. You got me?
Hey, Doug. How's it going?
Good, man. You're just getting out of the car, and I am sure you are pretty worn out.
Yeah, that was a really intense last stint. One of the cars, I think it was 6, was super slow, making a big train, and we were trying to get past it for a few laps. It was really frustrating. We had a bit of a gap to the guy behind. I had like 4 or 5 seconds, and it was I think 1 second by the time I got past him. So I had to use my time and really attack. And we got a little bit too much fuel for our last stint. So we dropped the hammer a little bit earlier. Pulled me in a few laps early, so we could get a proper pit stop in at the end. So we're not waiting around. But it'll be interesting to see. We've still got people to fight with. P13's right behind us, and the guys ahead have still got to stop. And then we'll have to see how the splash goes.
So you're looking at one more stop, but it's just going to be a splash and go type thing, and you might be able to make up a lot of ground on that.
Yeah, we're looking to take tires. So we came in a little bit early this one, so we can have a full run here, and then take 40-50 liters of fuel, get 4 fresh tires, and hammer down for the last half an hour.
The track temp is coming down. Obviously, you and Andrew had some of the hottest track, and Giancarlo got a piece of it, but you guys had some really hot track. But over the last 30 minutes or so, the temp has dropped dramatically. Were you feeling that in the car, or were the tires just too far gone at that point?
Yeah, definitely. We were trying to be kind with the tires, not using too quickly. And I could definitely feel the pace quickening towards the end there. Had a bit more grip, a little bit more confidence going through the corners, and it just allowed me just to stop the lift and coast a little bit and send it a little bit deeper into the corners.
Well, it's definitely going to pay off. A great run, a great day. I know all 3 of you contributed to put yourself in this great position. Looking like a top 10 finish out of this one.
Yeah, you never know. We're P12 now, but we'll have to see what happens in the last hour and a bit, and see how the pit stops favour us. So we might end up losing out with our strategy, or we might be in a good position at the end. So we'll have to see.
Well, great run today, and now you got to go out and run this all over again tomorrow. I have to ask, tomorrow, will you be back in the Hello Kitty car?
I won't be racing tomorrow, so I'm not going to be here. So luckily, I don't have to relearn the track. It's endurance racing around here and sprint racing around here is very different things, very different lines. Not attacking so hard, lifting a lot more than I would, or at all, if in a 40-minute race. So unfortunately, I'm going to miss it, but I'll be back next week.
Well, man, great job today. Congratulations. Go take a well-deserved rest, buddy.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Well, you can hear Giancarlo had been out of the car for a while, and as had Andrew when we talked to him, but you can hear as Adam comes out of the car, the exhaustion. This track just requires so much concentration. As you come down the front straightaway into the mountain, as you start up the mountain, things get tight. Those walls will close in on you very, very quickly. It is a very claustrophobic track. There's a lot of blind turns where if something goes wrong, the race is just over for you. There's nothing you can do. In fact, as Andrew comes around, let's see if we can dial up his in-car camera as he comes down to the final turn. And out of the final turn, a little slip out of the tire looked like there as he gets back on the power. We'll see if he has the same problem through turn 1. Nails turn 1 perfectly down the long straightaway. Up to about 150 plus at the end of the straightaway, then into the right-hander and starting up the mountain. Those fans there at this section have gotten a great view of the race here today. Coming up the mountain into these tight turns, and a lot of times you come up, we saw it in the first part of this race this morning, guys having trouble through here. Getting sideways, if somebody's behind you, they have nowhere to go. It stacks up and things get chaotic quickly. At the top of the mountain, and Andrew points it back down. Quite a view from the top, but Andrew not getting to enjoy any of it as he concentrates on coming down the mountain. As we mentioned, that Porsche just so fast, but again, so unstable. The Ferrari definitely the fastest and most of the faster cars. It is the most stable around here. Down the long straightaway, as we saw this morning, up to 170 miles an hour into that right-hand kink and slowing down for the left-hander. Back down past pit road entry into the final turn. And back on the throttle to the start-finish line. Andrew completing that lap in 2:07.23, as it doesn't appear he's got all the grip back, and it does take a while after you've been out of the car for as long as he has. You've got to rebuild the confidence and regain the feel for the car. 7th place is currently on pit road. Looks like he has completed his stop coming back out. Andrew currently in 12th, about 43 seconds behind 11th place, and gaining on him. Benjamin Lang still has the lead over Liam Kerr in second. Kerr was gaining some ground, but now about 11 seconds back. Third place, another 14 seconds back. Fourth place is actually gaining on all the cars ahead, but is stuck in traffic. And 5th place back about a minute 24. Just over an hour left to go for the Conliff Racing team, and one more pit stop. Looking like as pit stops cycle through, they will pull back into the top 10 for the finish of this one, as they will have one more stop. Some of these teams are pitting now or will have to make 2 more stops. Also, as we saw a few moments ago, the 11th place driver, Oliver Rodriguez, had completed his pit stop, had to go back to pit road briefly. Not sure if it was penalty or what happened, but he was back on pit road. And he lost quite a bit of ground. That has allowed a couple of drivers to move back up into the top 10 and could allow Andrew Lau the opportunity to run him down. Those BMWs, as we saw this morning, as the run goes on and the tire wear becomes an issue, they really start to push and slide all over the track. 10th place is back on pit road. Andrew coming down that back straightaway, may get up to his bumper. New driver in the car. That 3 car still sitting on pit road, completing his stop. As Lau heads toward the final turn, this is going to be close. Lau may be able to pick up the position here. It's going to be very, very close. They are rolling out, but it does look like Lau is going to take 11th here. That was a long, long stop for the new driver of the 3 car, Philippe Pagny. And Mark Stassen has closed in on Philippe. He could come back into play for the Conliff Racing team. Remember, they had a minor issue with him early on in the race when Giancarlo was in the car. There were only 2 Audis in the field this morning, and it looks like only 1 remains. So this field is Porsche, Ferrari, and BMW at this point. No Mercedes or Lambos started in this group. Also working on getting an update from Team 2 at the moment. We'll try and get a word with Simon once he gets out of the car. That team was headed toward a top 10 as well. Andrew Lau still trying to close the gap on Oliver Rodriguez. Rodriguez currently in 10th, but is going to have a battle. From a lap car coming by on the inside. Looks like Rodriguez is going to let him by. But that did slow him down and gave Lau a little bit of help. Back in 12th place, Mark Stassen, we've talked about a bit. He is back on the attack, but remember this morning, they were pushing that car to its absolute limits, and late in the run, it was sliding quite a bit. They have been short pitting throughout the day, getting fresh tires on as often as possible. Stassen is just about 8.7 seconds behind Andrew at the moment. There you see him coming through the final turn, or through the first turn rather, as Andrew comes down the front stretch. Benjamin Lane continuing to lead. His gap on Liam Kerr still about 11.7 seconds. The second place car right on the bumper of the Conliff Racing team. And it does look like that second place car, that Porsche, is getting a little squirrely. He has been out there about 20 laps on that set of tires. He'll be needing to get to pit road before long. And it does look like Liam is going to make the move. Lau not going to fight it. It's not a battle for him, and he could utilize that Porsche for the slipstream. Lau still maintaining his 11th place position, his gap to 10th. Still holding at about 43.22 seconds. Tenth place car of Oliver Rodriguez is coming through traffic now. That is going to help Lau start to close the gap just a little bit. And Liam Kerr in second place. Andrew was not able to use the slipstream for long, despite the fact that that car is not, it's obvious it is not gripping. He has found some way to hold on to it. Have the track temps come down further? Yes, they have. Another 4 degrees. Now down to about 96 degrees. And track temperatures continuing to fall. as are the lap times. As last time by, Andrew Lau did a 206.92. Tenth place, Oliver Rodriguez still battling through traffic. Loud not able to gain a whole heck of a lot here. Quick look through the top 10 right now as we try and get, as Andrew Lau tries to close the gap. Benjamin Lang still out front by 11 1/4 seconds. Liam Kerr in second on the attack, actively trying to make his way forward. Francisco sitting in third. Paul Lobmeyer, excuse me, currently running in fourth, about 41 seconds back. Daniel Magri in fifth, about a minute and a half back. Dominic currently running in sixth, another minute back. Another minute 6 back is Yannick Gerards in seventh. Martin Brandborg in eighth, about 31 seconds back. Daniel Newman in ninth, 4 seconds back. And Oliver Rodriguez 24 seconds back in 10th. Hey, good afternoon, Carl. How are you? Lau currently sits in 11th, about 44.2 seconds back, losing a little ground on that lap. Andrew Lau will be making one more stop. The question is, how many more stops will some of these other drivers have to make here? And Lau will have a shorter stop. He will take 4 tires, but less fuel. They will have a good run there at the end with the lighter fuel load and fresh tires. It's good to hear, Carl. Glad to see you again, buddy. Yeah, they're definitely some good-looking cars out here. The GT3s at Bathurst, completing the 12 hours of Bathurst. They've got just under an hour left to go as the Conliff Racing team has just one more stop. The final driver in the car. Waiting an update from Team 2. And to get a word with Simon Zierk, who should be out of the car now. We're waiting for confirmation. And Nick Sorensen taking the car to the finish. That team also looking at a top 10 finish here this morning. So both Conliff teams looking at top 10 finishes. A dramatic turnaround from the 24 Hours of Daytona. What? Andrew Lau may have just lost connection. Andrew Lau has reappeared for the moment, but his connection is going. Hopefully it'll hold on and keep him in the race, but this is not good. This is not the way. Their team wanted this to end after 12 hours of hard battling. The connection is smoothing out. What a close call that was. And it does look like Simon is out of the car. So let's see if we can get a word. Hey, Simon, it's Doug. You got me?
Hello, Doug.
Hey, a long, long day comes to an end for you, man. Great run today.
Oh yeah, it was a great run, but I got really tired in the end. It was then close to midnight, and yeah, I could feel it getting tired from lap to lap, and I was happy to get out of the car in the end.
I can imagine you would be. I know that you guys planned the stints in such a way that everybody can get as much rest as possible, but after so many hours and being so late at night, it does begin to wear on you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I could see it in my lap times. They were dropping off in the end. So I was behind one guy. I tried to catch him at the beginning of my last stint, but in the end I couldn't make it. It was the same distance, same gap as at the beginning of the stint.
I have to ask.
But now, yep, go ahead.
I was going to say, you guys were looking at effectively an 8th place run at when I talked to Mike a little bit ago. Is that still the same situation? Are you guys effectively in 8th place?
Currently we are in 11th place. Nick had some technical issues with his VR headset and crashed a little bit. And so we lost a place there. Now every team just needs one more pit stop to get to the end. But Nick has a pretty good pace, and I think top 10 is still in reach.
Well, it's looking great for both teams then to hit a top 10 today, and great job. I know you're tired. We'll let you go rest. And, man, a great run today, and great job with all the data as well. That is extremely helpful for me, and I know it really helped the team out.
You're welcome.
Well, congratulations. A great day. Great job, Simon.
Thank you, Doug.
Simon Ziert coming to the end of his stint. Hey, Kyle. No, I am not. My kid is here, so we will probably be live, me kicking her rear, playing some basketball later. Andrew Lau did lose some time during that technical difficulty with the blinking, and is now brought Mark Stassen within 7 seconds, and he lost about 5 seconds on 10th place Oliver Rodriguez, and he started to blink again. Hopefully the connection holds. Let's see if we can get a word with Giancarlo. Hey, Giancarlo, it's Doug. You got me?
Hey, Doug.
Suddenly seeing some blinking out of Andrew. Are there concerns, technical difficulties?
It happened earlier in the race. I'm not sure exactly what's causing it on his internet's end, but it worked out previously, so hopefully nothing to be concerned about.
It did lose a bit of time throughout that blinking incident a few moments ago. He lost about 5 seconds over the course of that. Will he be able to make that ground back up now?
I think so. I mean, he's been doing incredibly well in his previous stint and so far in this stint. So I have no doubts.
I was between the morning and this afternoon. I was watching some of the official iRacing broadcast, and something came up, and I haven't had a chance to talk with any of you guys about it. So I'm just going to blindside you with it. There is major consternation with the fact that the Bathurst jump has been removed. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's not ideal. I think because they changed the gravel and the grass and made it a bit more sticky, and I really think they should have just left an exception for that specific piece of gravel just on this track because it's so much fun and it's like a celebration of finishing this long race. But I'm sure someone is going to try it after the race is over either way.
I'm sure they are. We'll definitely be watching for that. I do have to say, when the official iRacing broadcasters are saying fix it, I think it'll probably be fixed before next year, but too little too late in this situation.
I totally agree. I love doing any track that has a jump at the end. It just makes everything more fun, and it makes it more worth it to get to the end.
It definitely does. I've only done a couple of official races here, and I have to say that was the only reason I did them.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot of, it's mentally taxing, far more than other tracks to keep things between the walls and not touch the walls. So the least they could do is give us the jump at the end.
I'm telling you. I have to ask, how much restrictor plate racing have you done?
As in like Daytona, Talladega?
Yeah.
Absolutely zero on iRacing.
I was going to say, compare the mental taxing of restrictor plate versus this track, because they have to be fairly close.
Oh, I can only imagine. I mean, I've heard, like in real life, even something like Formula One drivers, like not believing that they could be NASCAR drivers on super speedways like that. Just the door-to-door, like the constant concentration. I don't know if I could do it, to be honest, and I feel like this might be easier.
Well, could very well be. Man, great job so far. Hopefully things stay steady and you guys keep up the good work.
Thanks, Doug. Appreciate it.
There you have it, folks. And I have to say, like I said, we saw the official. I watched some of the official iRacing broadcast from Bathurst earlier today, and they're right. Bring back the jump, iRacing. But don't try and fix it on the fly today, please. Every time you try and release live, it breaks stuff. Fifth place is on pit road. Let me do some quick math. This may likely be his last stop. Yep, that is very likely fifth place. Daniel Magry's final stop as he comes off pit road. Every stop from here should mathematically be, even the drivers only running 24, 25 laps, this should be their final stints here at their final stops here at Bathurst. And it looks like we are seeing a lot of them as Benjamin Lang, the leader, is in. Final stop for the leader as Andrew Lau comes around. Hey, thanks, Kyle. Yeah, sorry I missed the race, but yeah, beating the kid at NBA 2K24 is going to be a lot more fun. And they have had a driver change in the lead car. Nicholas Anke is in the car now to take it to the end. Liam Kerr in second place, just coming by. And the 8th place car just had a problem a moment ago. Let's see what happened. Looked like he might have just overshot the turn a bit off into the grass. Does manage to hold on to it, but wow, getting out in the grass here is risky. I may try and turn that on here in a minute, Kyle, but that confused me. 6 places in, 10th places also in. Now it's a question of who has the fastest stops here. Andrew Lau in 11th, coming down the straightaway. The 10th place car is rolling again. A 31-second stop. Andrew Lau coming out of the final turn as Daniel Meyer coming down the straightaway toward the mountain. Sixth place, Andreas Katung is pulling off pit road now as well. So final stops well and truly underway. This is going to be a huge determining factor on how it plays out here tonight. I figured out what you meant. Lau's lap time's also starting to come down. In fact, last time by he was a second faster than 10th. A second and a half faster. Andrew still does have to make that final stop, and we're going to watch this one closely. Oliver Rodriguez is on pit road. He had that issue earlier. Rodriguez hit pit road earlier and ended up having to come back to pit road for a second stop. That moved him back several positions. He is up for tires, so we'll keep an eye on him when he comes back out. Hey, good afternoon, JR. Both Conliff Racing teams, though, currently looking at top 10 finishes here today for a team that was just formed a month ago. For these endurance races this season, they have been on fire. Rodriguez is on his way out. Andrew Lau now into 10th. Lau has got to get everything he can out of those tires, out of that load of fuel. Get that short pit stop finished. Hey, thanks, Kyle. Appreciate it, buddy. Don't forget to check out the team's website, conliff-racing.com. We will have the broadcast of some of their future endurance races, including Sebring next month and the Nürburgring, the 24 hours of the Nürburgring here in a couple of months. Hopefully we'll be able to broadcast all of them. Man, things will get... Things will get crazy as this season of endurance racing goes on. And we will continue to broadcast the Conliff Racing team. And you'll get to see a lot of this team back tomorrow at 11 Eastern for GT3 NSS Racing. Also tomorrow afternoon at 1:30 Eastern, we will have Home Motorsports GT4 Racing, and the BRR playoffs begin tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern. Actually, the truck season playoffs kick off in about 30 minutes. Before the driver change in the lead car, that car was pulling away, and on a march, that car is now slowed down in second place. Liam Kerr is actually reeling him back in. They're just about 11 1/4 seconds back, but that car has lost some speed and momentum as Kerr just started blinking. Also, while you're at the Conliff Racing team's website, make sure to check out their partner, Advanced Sim Racing. They have some awesome sim racing gear. You can drool just like I do. Well, best of luck tonight, Kyle. Hope your luck's better than last Sunday. Oliver Rodriguez in 11th is closing the gap. Several of these drivers back behind Andrew are still going to have to make a pit stop. And we are starting to see some cars sliding. The lone Audi left in the field, driven by Tim Tromp, just overshoots the corner, gets it gathered up. He was back behind the Conliff Racing team, so no impact to their race. Now, are starting to see a few more cars pushing a little bit as we close in as final stops are underway. And Andrew Lau is definitely setting some fast laps right now. In fact, his lap times were faster last time than 5th, 6th, and 7th place, and faster than the 9th place car of Daniel Meyer just ahead. With 37 minutes left to go here, hey, Kevin. Good afternoon, Kevin Bruner. Not a lot of cars ahead of the Conliff team, still needing to come to pit road. Quite a few back behind. Their strategy has been on point today, and that has put them up in the top 10. Can they hold on to it is the question. Where they have stretched the fuel windows up until these last couple of stints. A bit heartbreaking, though, that we have seen technical difficulties for both teams here in the last couple of hours, with Nick Sorensen having VR issues, setting him back a little bit in the Team 2 Ferrari. And, of course, the blinking issue that Lau had costing him a little bit of time just a little bit ago. A few more cars starting to slip off track. 14th place Aiden Pike slipped off track a moment ago. Minor slip, but it is indicative of the fact that these guys are pushing these tires harder and harder here late in the race. Speaking of harder and harder, 11th place Oliver Rodriguez is closing in on Andrew. Daniel Meyer in ninth, about 16 and a half seconds ahead of Lau at the moment. Lau, though, does appear to be pushing a little bit harder. You see him pushing out closer to the walls than when he first came off pit road. That next car ahead of him, that Porsche, is the 31st place car. No battle there, but he might be able to utilize the slipstream just a little bit on this next straightaway. Speaking of the straightaway, we saw how fast they were going at the end of it this morning. They were hitting about 170. Let's see what Lau gets this time as he heads down there. 168, 169. So they haven't lost a lot of time. Also this morning, the track temperatures were down in the 70s. Now they're up at 93, although quite a bit cooler than just an hour ago. We talked about the leader starting to slow down a little bit. Second place, Liam Kerr has gained another second on the leader, is now 10.7 seconds back. If he can catch up and they start battling, that could change a lot for the drivers back behind. That Porsche just ahead of Lau at the moment, though, does appear to be banged up. Lau having to watch his P's and Q's up through the mountain here. Oliver Rodriguez continuing to close in as well. 12th place, Philippe Pagny also starting to close in. Lau has got to navigate this lap traffic quickly before he gets overtaken. The Ferrari will have the advantage on the straightaway. And Lau does get to the inside and slips by. Now he's got to hope that lap car holds up the drivers behind. And we are just a few laps away from Andrew Lau's final pit stop, which could be the biggest deciding factor here tonight. Looks like 2 or 3 other cars in the top 10 will still need a pit stop. We could see some very close racing at the end of this one. Second place is still gaining time on the leader. Third place and fourth place separated by about 36 seconds. Fifth place separated on both sides by well over a minute. Sixth place has the seventh place car running him down at the moment. Eighth place about 15.5 seconds back. And of course, ninth place is being run down now by Andrew Lau. Andrew has also started to put the gap back on Oliver. For the moment, the gap 2.3 seconds. The leader also coming into lap traffic is allowing the second place car to gain some ground. The lap traffic on track is going to be a huge factor in this one. Lap traffic and pit stops definitely could be the two deciding factors. Mark Stassen has given up 13th. He is on pit road completing his final stop. Looking through the field, just based on what we have seen so far, I do believe 12th place Philippe Pagney will have to come to pit road. Oliver Rodriguez in 11th is a question mark. Andrew Lau will have to come to pit road. Daniel Meyer might have to make another pit stop. 8th place Martin Brandborg will definitely have to make one more stop, as will 7th place Yannick Gerards. And 6th place Andreas Gatung will potentially have to make a stop. But some of these drivers with their stops will only need fuel. And we know Andrew Lau will take tires but will not need a full fuel load, which should save some time. In fact, it looks like the team calculated tire stops only about 21 seconds. Substantially faster than taking on the full fuel load. And if they run this to the point that they only need about 21 seconds worth of fuel, with most of these drivers making 31 to 40 second stops, but you can see how Lau and the team would gain a lot of ground. The leader is back into heavy lap traffic and navigating his way through. That Andrew Lau, the Conliff Racing car, is on pit road. This will be their final stop. 4 tires and as little fuel as possible. Hits his pit stall perfectly. Watching the time on their stop, waiting for the car to drop. They are down and away. A 21.7 second stop. That is the fastest so far. They do need to get out ahead of 13th place Mark Stassen as he comes through the final turn, but Andrew Lau is on the straightaway. He is back out there running it to the end. Second place, as we were talking about a moment ago, is closing in on the leader due to heavy lap traffic out front. Now Andrew Lau on his final set of tires, final fuel load. Sitting in 12th place with several cars ahead. still needing to make that final stop. Eleventh place, Philippe Pagny, just 33 seconds ahead. Will have to make one more stop for fuel here, and should need it in the next couple of laps. Lau currently 32.8 seconds behind him. Thirteenth place, Mark Stassen, currently at about 12.8 seconds back, and 8th place is on pit road. Martin Brandborg hits his pit stall. And he is not taking tires. This is a fuel-only stop. He is down and away in 17 seconds. He has fuel to the end, but now, how are his tires? The track temperatures have been coming down, but still not as cool as they were this morning. And we were seeing problems on track this morning on the long runs. Track temp now down to 90 degrees. Still relatively hot. Could those old tires of the 8th place car come into play for Andrew Lau? The 11th place car does not come in yet. The Conliff team currently running in 12th place. Still a great run after starting in 24th, and last update, Team 2 was running in 11th after starting 44th. Little bit of battling going on right behind Andrew Lau. But Lau does have some clean track ahead. The battles behind don't concern him. They are not for a position. No impact on his race. Lau has started pulling away again from 13th place Mark Stassen, and is starting to close back in on 11th place Philippe Pagny. In fact, last time by, Lau was faster than everybody except 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place. Speaking of 2nd place, Liam Kerr continuing to close in on the leader, now just 9.1 seconds back. Third place has also been closing in on Liam. But Lau is now on a mission. Lau really needs to close the gap on Philippe before Philippe goes to pit road. Philippe now in heavy lap traffic. As his 10th place, it looks like Oliver Rodriguez is catching into some lap traffic just ahead. He is losing some ground now. A lot of pit stops going on back behind as well as they come off pit road. Back into the race, that could have another effect. And with 16 minutes, just over 16 to go, anything is possible. Hey, good afternoon, Steven Seams. Trying to do some numbers crunching here. I just don't know. Lau was looking like a top 10 run here. Still very potentially possible. Plus, with several of these drivers having to fight through lap traffic, anything could happen. Looking again at 8th place, Martin Brandborg. He has been out there on old tires. This is his second run. He stopped for fuel only a few laps ago. Based on his lap times, he is still pushing that car. And we have seen the tire wear on the BMW extremely dramatic at times today. A lot of question marks still exist in the top 10, top 15. Philippe Pagny in 11th is closing in on 10th place. Oliver Rodriguez. That will, when they battle, that will allow Andrew to close in. A few potential battles up in the top 10, but a bit of a gap before they happen. The leader is actually pulled back out just a little bit over second place Liam Kerr. That gap now just 10 seconds. A long race day winding down. Let's see if we can get one more word with the team strategist, Mike Dolling. Mike, it's Doug. You got me?
Hey, Doug. How you doing?
I'm good. You are so chipper now that you're out of the car.
I know. So much better. Now I'm not having to drive. A lot stressed. So I suppose you're wondering how we're doing, are you?
Yeah, I kind of figure. I heard we had a VR issue there and dropped back to 11th.
We did, but we're in P10. There is a possibility that we could pick up another spot into P9, but it's really down to pit stop on the person ahead. It depends on how long they're going to take in their pit stall. So we're not entirely sure yet. I think probably P10 is going to be where we're going to finish, but I've been surprised before, but I've got a funny feeling it's going to be P10, which I'm really happy with, especially considering that Nick had a VR issue and we ended up getting rear-ended, and so we lost a spot because of that and some time. So I think if that hadn't happened, we would have probably been P8. But hey, these things happen.
Well, it's still a great day considering where you started the day. To come home in the top 10 is a great run. Both teams having amazing runs today. Your strategies have played off perfectly.
Yeah, I'm really happy with how it's turned out. Really happy. It just would have been nice to been top 5, but hey, I'll take a top 10. I'll take that.
Well, knowing how Daytona went and how today went, looking to Sebring in March, what is the team's? Obviously, you guys are going to try and improve every single race, but does the team strategy change, or does it continue to be working on fuel and having as much speed as possible?
I think that's going to be the strategy. I mean, we'll have to have a look at how Sebring drives when we do some testing, and where we think, but there's good opportunities at Sebring to save fuel and not affect time at all. So I think we're going to continue with that, and then I think we've really just got to try and focus on how much fuel we're going to save, and if we fuel save all the way through the lap, or if we're only fuel saving in 2 spots, stuff like that. So yeah, we'll start exploring it, but I think fuel saving is the key. Certainly this season, tyre wear is not an issue. There's no advantage in tyres at all, so it's all got to be about the fuel.
Well, it's definitely paid off today for both teams to have that fuel strategy in place. It was obviously paying off at Daytona as well. It seems to be working, and the Conliff team is really coming together.
Yeah, really happy with how it's coming. Really, really happy. So looking forward to bigger and better things in the races coming up through the season. So yeah, really happy.
Well, man, great job, great strategy here. Just a few minutes left to go in this one, and congratulations to Team 2.
Thank you. Thanks, Doug.
Well, sounds like Team 2 has got 10th place locked up, and Andrew Lau is right on the bumper of Philippe Pagny. Philippe just coming off pit road in 11th. Lau was definitely faster than Philippe prior to that pit stop. Philippe had the quicker pit stop by about 10 seconds. That tells you how much ground Lau has made up, and one of the drivers ahead, 8th place, had a problem a moment ago. Headed down into turn 1. Just slides it a little bit off of the grass. That is the same driver. That is Martin Brandborg, who did not change tires on his last stop. Lau definitely on maximum attack right behind Philippe. And obviously some drivers ahead having some problems. Could see some dramatic changes in the next few minutes, in the next 2 to 3 laps. Lau staying right in Philippe's slipstream. Does he have anything left? A driver back behind has had a problem. Has recovered from it. Adam Hitchcock back in 18th. Looks like he had a problem in the final section of track. Let's see what happened. Oh, looks like they were battling. He just gets a bump from behind. Goes for a spin. And while that is not a direct impact to the Conliff team, if those two get back together, if there's problems, anything could happen. Adam Hitchcock back in 18th after that is about a half a lap behind, but a big stack up and some of the leaders close to him. Any problems have to be watched for here late in the race. Andrew Lau, for the first time, lost some ground to Philippe off the mountain. Looks like Lau's making up time on the straightaways. He's getting the better exit out of those 90-degree turns. The final turn and the first turn. And Andrew is gaining a little bit of ground coming up the mountain, but does he have enough time? It's obvious Philippe is pushing harder now. Last time by, he was 0.3 of a second faster. Philippe did not take tires on his stop, though. And as we mentioned, he is pushing harder. We have seen the effect that harder pushing on old tires has had on 8th place. Whoa! A slow lap car on the right, almost a problem for Andrew. The leader coming down the straightaway now may take the white flag next time by. And sixth place just had a little bit of an off track. Looked like in turn one, everybody is really pushing them now. Looks like a lot of the top 10 in the last 2 laps has slipped off the track at some point. And everybody kissing the walls just a little bit as they come up the mountain. Back down the straightaway this time. The leader coming through the final turn. Will he see the white? No white flag yet. So Lau will get at least 1-2 more laps to try and settle this and take 11th. Hope for something to happen to give him a top 10 here. White flag is now in the air. Lau has one more time around. Down the straightaway one more time. Lau may have to make the move into the mountains. He is all over Philippe's bumper. Inches apart. He made the move. Philippe moved to block. Oh, Philippe overshot. What a move. What a move by Andrew Lau. Now Philippe back on the attack, closing in. Lau closely watching his back bumper. Back down at the bottom of the mountain. Andrew Lau just has to defend down the straightaway a few more turns. Nicholas Amke and team have won. Andrew Lau through the final turns, he holds him off. Andrew Lau, there's been something happen with Oliver Rodriguez. But it does not affect him, and Andrew Lau and the Conliff Racing team come home in 11th. And some chaos on the last lap almost changed that finish. Several drivers in the top 10 having off-track incidents, and Oliver Rodriguez completely lost his connection. Let's get a quick word with Andrew Lau after pulling off this finish. Hey, Andrew, it's Doug. You got me?
Hey, Doug.
Are you worn out?
Oh, I'm brimming with excitement right now on that last lap.
That was crazy. He went to block. That second block was a little bit much, but it set him up to make a mistake into that second turn.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to dive him on the inside. I was just trying to not run into him because he threw that block on me, but it sounds like he hit the wall, and then we just ran away. Made it work.
It definitely worked, and some problems on the last lap for some of the drivers ahead. I think one more lap, you actually come home in ninth.
Oh, that would have been amazing, but it was only... I'd rather run 12 hours than 12 and a half hours or something, but it's all good.
Well, man, you guys put on one heck of a performance all day long. You bring it home at the end. You bring it home clean and an 11th place finish, and a lot to look forward to as the season goes on.
Yeah, this is my first race with this team, and it's been a good one. Looking forward to more of these.
Well, Sebring is a month away. You better get ready.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Well, great job. Great finish. Congratulations to you and the whole team, man.
Yeah, thank you, Doug.
Conliff Racing Team 1 comes home in 11th. Team 2 coming home in 10th. What a day of racing in Australia. Thank you guys all so much for tuning in. Hope everybody had a great time. We will see you really soon. And we will be back in the morning for GT3 NSS. Hope everybody had a great day. We'll see you soon. Have a great night, everybody.